Hi everyone, Kenoky here, and today I wanted to do a Scourge commentary, pretty much like I did with my Weaver, but this time it is not my own gameplay. The gameplay come from one of my guildies, really good gameplay, and I think you will appreciate taking a look at it. Quick introduction on Scourges. Scourges are one of the core classes really of World v World. There is this big trio, Firebrand, Revenant and Scourge. Scourge is one of them. He provides a lot of offensive option with the Corrupt, good damage, good CC, etc, etc. He provides a lot of defensive, once again, with the Corrupt. It reduces the enemy damage, but also with barriers. So it's really a very strong option in World v World that many people should play. But also, one of the big thing is, you will very often hear, you can play Scourge, it's easy, you just have to spam your keyboard. I'm really not, I don't agree with that at all, basically. Scourge is a really easy to pick class. So, of course, you can take a Scourge, spam your buttons, and it will kinda work, you will apply some pressure. But in order to be a good Scourge, it is one of the class with the lowest skill floor, but the highest skill ceiling, if I'm correct. Maybe it's the opposite. But yeah, really easy to pick up, but extremely hard to master because of the positioning, and you have a ton of things to do. You really have to be a goddamn clock. You will see a bit later. And yeah, really interesting class. The difference between a bad Scourge and a good Scourge is absolutely insane in terms of Corrupt, in terms of damage dealt, etc, etc. So yeah, hope you will enjoy this video. Let's jump into the gameplay. So, you will see small fight on the bridge, right there. Yeah, one thing I wanted to point out, he will play two builds in this gameplay. He will play a full Corrupt build that is playing Axe plus Scepter with Spite, which is a very strong build when it comes to smaller fights, and that is very effective at corrupting enemies, especially at close range. But you also have the other build that he will play, where you replace Spite with Soul Reaping, and that way you get more damage, you can pick a staff, your mark will become unblockable, and from there you really have more damage, more zoning at range. So both builds are perfectly fine. If you are starting, start with the Soul Reaping one. It's easier to play. The Corrupt one is a bit harder. In both cases, you will take the Corruption threat line, if I'm correct, and it will allow your Scepter free that you will get in any build. You need to have a Scepter. It will make your Scepter free able to reap boons at range on 5 targets, 3 boons, so it absolutely shred boons like there is no tomorrow. So you really want a Scepter and you really want that trait, build into the description. The build is also playing Celestial, you can go Berserker, both have their goods and wrongs. I'm not gonna do a full review now, but let's go into the gameplay, because in the end, the gameplay matters way more than your stuff. Let's be clear. So let's go, let's jump into the gameplay. So first of all, quick mistake he's doing, he's casting his Scepter free first. I personally advise to always place a Shade first. So he see the opponent veiling, he go back, he place himself, Scepter free, position his Shade, get a good amount of damage. One thing you can see, he hasn't used his wells, he hasn't used his breach yet. Very good. He put damages in front, he waits for the opponent. Is the opponent going back? Is the opponent going forward? If the opponent tries to force, he will cast his breach. If the opponent is going back, like right now, we'll see what he is doing. But yeah, very good segmentation, let's say, of his bomb. A good Scourge doesn't spam. A good Scourge, you have the positioning on the side and the F2. That are one thing. You have the F4 and F5 by default. Of course, you should rebind all of this. You have the F4 and the F5 that are a separate thing. You have your Scepter free. You have both your wells and your breach. All of this should be separated. You don't spam everything on the same spot, and you are going to understand very quickly why. So as you can see, he's zoning the middle of the bridge. Then they are pushing on the bridge. He's using is healing, using his breach on him, and then the wells far on the opponents, which make it impossible for them to actually regroup anywhere. So as you can see, zoning middle of the bridge in order to push them back. Then when pushing with his weapon skill, using breach underfoot. He see them going out, boom, using his wells. Really well done. Another way of doing, if the opponent is a bit bigger, is when you push, you use your wells, the opponent come onto you, you dodge back once and you breach, or you dodge back forward, and then you keep your breach for the next move, exactly like he did. So, you have Kenda. Both options is the enemy is trying to cross, you breach and you dodge through. If the enemy is trying to go back, you can well on them after the go back. One little thing I would say on this gameplay, right there, two mistakes. First is using his Scepter 3 and then placing his Shade. You should try to place your Shade first and then Scepter 3. Why? Because your Shade is placed, you can use your spell from your Shade, and your Shade is a bit faster to place. You can also place it further. It has a better effective range with the radius, where the Scepter 3 is really 900 range. If the opponent is not at 900 range, you will not connect. So you should place your Shade first, then using your Scepter 3. And the other critique I will make, very good use really, I want to emphasize this, of the healing. And the only critique here, as you can see, is weapon swapping. His Scepter 3 was 2 seconds away. He could have kept his Scepter 3 to get an extra Scepter 3, then swap into Axe, use his Axe 3. Okay, that's a bit nitpicky, but really you should try to swap weapon on around your Scepter or Axe 3. It's really important. Both builds play like that. You should try to maximize swapping weapons around your corrupt cooldown to maximize the amount of corrupt or boon whip you can do. So yeah, pretty good clip. Really the big thing is that he's not spamming. As you can see, really thinking through every one of his spell, which is really good. Next clip. Up. Next clip, once again, same bridge. So here it's a big push. Once again, maybe place the Shade first, but on this one it's less of an issue, I would say, because they are pushing aggressively. There he go a bit too far on the right. He managed to recover, which is really good. He managed to recover. He come on the left side. He will use his breach underfoot. Really good. And then he will wells in front. Once again, as you can see, he is not spamming right from the get-go. And once again, weapon rotation using his 3 skills as much as possible. One of the big thing I want to point out with this clip, two things I want to point out, really, and right there we will start to come in the more advanced, let's say, Scourge tricks. First of all, they are pushing, okay? So they are pushing, they will take damage. He should pre-shield, and if he's worrying about the amount of life force he have, he should pre-shield. But there, before crossing, you should use your barrier first, okay? This is very advanced. Really, not many Scourge do that, but if you can think about that without hindering the rest of your gameplay, this is really good to do. So there you go, pre-shield. So as you can see, like you will see, no pre-shield, no pre-shielding, using his shield a bit late. You see, he had the life force, by the way. So, using his shield a bit late. He could already be at 5 seconds here on the cooldown. Okay? 5 seconds on the cooldown. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. Right there. As you can see, he could almost use a shield on this push. He could almost use his shield on this push. We would have saved him. Also, if we come back like a few seconds, right there, he's not doing a lot right now. What he could do is, once again, pre-shield, use his big shield. Once again, use his big shield. Here he's really going a bit too far. Right there. Then he's going on the left side. Once again, no shield usage. As you can see. No shield usage. No shield usage. No shield usage, no shield usage. You see? So if instead of having one shield out from his F3, he could have maybe get 3 to 4 shields out, which would result in almost 7,000 more effective health for his group, which is insane, which is insanity. So really poor usage of the shield on this one. Other than that, pretty good once again using the wells at the end. But yeah, overall I really want to say the gameplay is good, like very good, okay, and it is really not to blame. There is pushing in front, going on the right side, pretty well done on the positioning right there. I really like the little move he does. Once again, as you can see, using first his shade and then using the wells on the repack, forcing the opponent back. Once again, a bit poor usage on the shielding, which is a bit sad. Here he comes on top, he yonk with his Scepter 3 once again, and pretty clean rotation, using the bridge to cancel the push if the opponent is trying to push again, and there you go. Pretty clean, once again. There, no cooldown, they are getting pushed, so he is trying to get a little bit of breathing room. Not using his Scepter 3 yet, I don't know why. There you go, Scepter 3, boom, getting blocked. Pretty good use of the shade, as you can see, very good use of the shade, and there he will push a little bit on the right side with his lead, with the shade being activated and stuff. We'll take a deeper look at this fight, because I think it's pretty interesting. So, what could he do? What could he do from the beginning to the end? So this is the previous one. What could he do on the next side? What could he do better? There you go, rewatching this fight a little bit. Very good damage here. There you go. So as you can see, they are pushing. So there he dodged out, really good. From there, first thing I will say, I don't see a usage of his Scepter 3, which is a bit sad. He is in range, he could use the Scepter 3. It's pretty much free at this point, and he will have the cooldown later on. So a bit sad here, no usage of the Scepter 3. He is in position right here, right now, to use his Scepter 3. So there you go, he could use his Scepter 3. First thing, he is using the well at range, which is fine. He moved with his lead right there, and there he will get a Scepter 3. He could have done 2 Scepter 3 at this point, almost. I'm pretty sure he could have done it. So there you go, using the Scepter 3, really good. After the Scepter 3, he's using his shade, dodging, swapping into axe, using the axe 3. So this is super clean as a rotation. Placing the shade, Scepter 3, dodging, swapping axe, axe 3. Bam! There you go, maximum corrupt. The enemy is pretty much naked at this point, which is extremely good, and that's why the push is kinda weak at this point, because it has been stripped out of every single boon, which make it extremely weak. Once again, you see he's waiting, X axe 3, casting his axe 3, then he should swap into Scepter as soon as possible. There you go, swapping into Scepter and using the Scepter 3 once again. A bit poor usage of the Scepter 3 on the right side, where he could have been targeted in front, but once again, very nitpicky right there. Overall, the gameplay is really solid. So there you go, pretty good rotation right there. We'll end up with this fight. Once again, rotating the weapon skill. So here, super clean. Like, guys, let's be clear. I could masturbate on the positioning on this side. I'm dead serious. This is so clean. Take notes. Look at this. Close to his leader. He sees the damage coming. He moves a little bit on the right. Okay. Moving a little bit on the right. Using his shade in order to deal damage in front. Moving on the left, using Scepter 3, dodging on the left side through the enemy bomb to stay aggressive, and then pushing forward with his lead. Really good. Swapping into axe to use the axe 3. Using his axe rotation, placing his well right here, pushing on the right side, breaching, dodging back, Probably Axe 3 now. Yeah, could have used the Axe 3 a bit earlier. Scepter 3, swapping into Scepter 3 as you can see. Waiting for his shade to come back. Using his shade when it's back. Good, 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 good. Good stuff. A little bit too early on the shade. Then he will come on top of the hills. Scepter 3, boom, dodging back. Really, really clean. He could have swapped Axe already. He could have gained a little bit right there. Axe 3 here. Using the Dagger 5 once again. As you can see, he's waiting on the shade a little bit. Here, he is using the shade because he thinks he can clutch the fight, which is the case. So really good use. Very, very good fight right there. Good rotation overall, and really, guys, like, let's come back to the beginning because, yeah, like, oh, Craigasm, Cray-fucking-gasm. This, this is so beautiful. So beautiful. Always out of damage. Look, look, look. Look there. Look there. Always close to the lead. Always out of the damage. Right there, once again, dodging back. Look where he stops. Just at the edge of the damage, once again. This is clean. This is clean as fuck. Look, 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 look. Look at the areas on the ground. It's just at the edge. Just at the edge. This is really clean in terms of positioning, guys. This is really, really clean. I really like this fight on this point. The positioning is extremely clean. I really like it. Really impressive stuff right there. So there you go, moving on the right side. And about positioning, as a Scourge, you always want to be close to your lead, but you always want to be out of the damage. Which is kinda contradictory in many, many cases. But that's what you have to do as a Scourge. That's why it is extremely hard to play Scourge at the highest level of play, because you are expected to be able to do that, to constantly be very close to your lead but out of the damage. And this is a perfect example on positioning. This is what you should be looking for. Always looking to deal damage, always in position to deal damage, always close to your lead, always avoiding the damage. Excellent stuff right there. Let's keep going. So we are gonna go for the next fight. As you can see on the right, you have the corrupts, you have the damage. So he's mainly focusing on the corrupt with his build. He does less damage because he's not playing with soul whipping. Pushing in front a little bit once again. Also, one note, one quick note, because they are fighting smaller groups right now. It is Laze and Kill, which are really good guilds. They know how to fucking play, and if you stay in their damage, you are gonna die really, really fast. The big thing is, against smaller group, it is easier to position yourself because the overall zoning and the overall spread of the damage will be less spread. It will be more focused, which make it easier to dodge and to avoid. The more people are around and the hardest it will be. But this is a good showcase. And trust me, those guilds, if you position yourself badly, up, you're dead. So it's really, for me, it's a good showcase even if there are not that many. Once again, same thing. Scepter 3, rotating, Axe 3, using the breach underfoot. The shade rotation once again. Is here repacked, wells on the repacked, boom. And there you go, you see the opponent implode. Very well done once again. Using the Scepter 3 as soon as available, every single time you see. And not spamming his shades too, which is really important. This fight, super clean. In terms of rotation, guys, you will see. Really, the big thing that is lacking from his gameplay is pre-shielding. It is pretty much the only thing that is lacking. But other than that, you will see this fight is super, super clean in terms of rotation. Pre-shielding right there, good. Really good. Seeing them on the right side, up, placing his shield, dodging out, Scepter 3, going into Axe 3, Axe 3, very, very good. Placing his wells, no, not now. Placing the wells on the repack, really good, dodging back once, getting the breach underfoot, really good. Dodging out once again, using the Axe 3, rotating into Scepter, Scepter 3, using the shade once again to get a bit more corrupt, going on the top, once again, waiting for the Scepter 3. As you can see, he will use the Scepter 3 as soon as there is an opportunity. Once again, the Shade dodging out, using the Scepter free, swapping into Axe, probably. Swapping into Axe a bit late, swapping into Axe using the X3. Really clean rotation, and they still lose. That shows that Laze is a good guild, if in case you were wondering. But this fight, guys, let's watch it once more, because really perfect rotation, as you can see. Shade, dodging, Scepter, going into Axe, axing, looking for an opportunity to Wells, they'll repack, well on the repack, moving on the right side, dodging out, using the bridge, Axe 3, swapping into Scepter, Scepter 3, corrupting on the position, really fucking good. Once again, pre-shielding once again, which is really good. Then he will use the Scepter 3 as soon as possible with the Shade, so placing the Shade, bombing with the Shade, dodging out, Scepter 3, which is extremely good, and there he could swap in Axe a little bit faster. To get that extra corrupt at this point. But the rotation is super clean. So really the big thing to keep out of this clip is your weapon skill free. You rotate around your weapon skill free between Axe and Scepter in case you play this build. In case you play with Staff, you spam with Staff, you use your Scepter free at least twice, you swap back into Staff, 10 seconds later, if they are in range of course, Scepter again, Scepter free twice, you go back into Staff, etc, etc. But you should really try to abuse the Scepter free as much as possible, and same for the Axe 3, and that's really clean on this gameplay. So really good stuff right there. Really good stuff. So there you go, playing the Soul Reaping build right now with the Staff. So you will see it will be way more, it will anticipate way more with this Shade and with the damage on this Shade, because there is no point at using your Shade a bit later, which is the case when you play with Spite. So overall, if you are a beginner, play this one, play Soul Reaping. If you really know what you are doing, you can go to Spite. But really, if you're a beginner, this build, it is really good. There is no one build is better than the other. They are doing different things, really, and this one is a bit easier to play. So first thing, spamming marks. Really good, spamming marks. As soon as your marks are available, you spam marks a little bit. Mainly the 2 and the 3. You want to avoid using the other too much. Swapping into Scepter because he thought they were gonna push. Using his Scepter 3, really good. Not using his Shade yet, which is good. He's waiting for a push. There is no push at the moment, so no need to shade. There is a push, shading in front, using his skill. One thing here, as you can see, he shaded here. And he's going to use his wells at the same spot. This is one of the common mistakes that is done by many Scourges. You use your Shade here, they are gonna move out. Are they gonna move out here? Are they gonna move out here? Are they gonna move out here? If they move out towards you, you use Breach. If they move out on the side, you use Wells. If they move out completely, maybe there is nothing to use. But really, do not spam everything here. This is a bad habit to take. Really bad. You can zone out 2 areas, and if the enemy is not dumb, he will move out of the damage. And if he is dumb, he will die. To be honest, he will die into your damage. If he just stand into your shades, he will die. So there you go. As you can see here, look at that juicy pocket right there. Oh, 2 wells here will be nasty as fuck. So here, little bit of misplay right there, as you can see. Using the Scepter 3 on the warrior in order to corrupt the bubble, which is really good. Once again, after the Scepter 3, you can see swapping into Staff, using his Staff as much as possible. The Scepter is back up again. He should swap into Scepter, swapping into Scepter, using Scepter 3 right away, which is really good. There is a push on them. He could have used the breach on the right side right there in order to anticipate a little bit. Good. Scepter 3 once again. Will he swap? No, he's not swapping. He could, yeah, there you go. There he is swapping. So you see, you swap around your scepter free. That's really what you should aim to do, and he's doing it pretty well right there. So really well done by him on this. Next fight, same spot, different opponent. There you go, corrupting once again, trying at least, he get cancelled. Very aggressive stuff right there. He see an opening, he plays super aggressive, which is cool. He could have used his wells right there on the opponent in order to force them out a little bit more. There they are pushing, he's placing his shade, they dodge on the right using wells at the end of the dodge, which is really good, and as you can see, there are a lot of Donnies on the wells. Once again, weapon skill rotation at the same time, which is really clean. Once again, using his shade at range in order to zone out the opponent and deal damage on the down, which is really good. Swapping into staff right there, and there you go. Oh, they are pushing, dodging on the left side instead of the right. That's not really an issue. You have to try to come back to your lead as soon as possible. The dodge here is a little bit late, but overall it's really nitpicky. And really the big thing you have to get out of all the gameplay and what it does really clean is the weapon rotation. The weapon rotation has to be clean as fuck, and you have to separate your usage of the shade skill from the usage of the whale, from the usage of the bridge, from the usage of your weapon skill free. It's really the big thing right there that you have to get out of this video. You do not spam everything at the same spot, okay? It's really what you should try to get out of this video. Here, once again, really strong example. Using his shade, he's not using the wells. As you can see, there is no point. They are dead here, so there is no point at using the wells. Here he hesitates on the corner. They are pushing in front. He waited for the dodge. He's trying to cast his wells right now. He's done. And there you go. Wells on the repact. And lol. So that's why you don't choose everything at the same spot. Just imagine. Imagine if you use everything right there from the bottom. The opponent will be at the edge. They will not take damage anymore. Then, whoop, my bad. Then he has no cooldowns for the next 30 seconds, almost. Imagine how much less damage it would have done on this. Just imagine. Right there, waiting for the dodge, after the dodge, using the wells on the repack. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Just really imagine how much less damage he would have done if he spammed everything at the beginning. They would have survived right there. They would have survived at this corner, and it would have taken one more mini grind, stuff like this. So you see, really, one Scourge can make a huge difference when he's using his skill wisely. And that's really what you have to get out of this video. Use your spell wisely. Do not spam. Really. So here the opponent come at the corner. I will go a bit faster, otherwise the video will be 1 hour long, and I will try. I want to try to keep it under 45 minutes. Damage in front, as you can see, pretty good. Scepter 3 into Axe 3 once again, using the wells because the fight is pretty much done. The wells were a bit overkill right there, but yeah. Here, talking about overkill, you will see. Really smart right there. You see that this fight on the right is almost resolved. He is not using heal wells, not using the shade. Only the scepter 3. Then he is using the shade on the left side to cancel this push. He pushes melee right there, as you can see, using the breach on top in order to cancel the ability for the opponent to push on top, which is once again pretty smart. He could have used his wells also to do the same thing. Here, so from there you will see the gameplay. There are some mistakes, and that's like some bigger mistake, let's say, and that's really what make those clips interesting. Because you will see bigger mistakes, and this is very good for people in order to learn. So as you can see, we are pushing in front, right there, using only the scepter 3, really good. Once again, he could push shield. constantly. As you can see, he's not pre-shielding enough with his shield skill. He's using the healing to do it, which is a good habit to have, but he could use his F3 way more. For him it's the R key. Right there. So here, positioning the shade. Really good. But here there is one thing that he does that you shouldn't do. He's positioning the shade and he immediately activate F5. Like, positioning shade activating. Like, bah! On the keyboard. No. You position your shade. What is the reaction? Is the opponent dodging out? Yes, they are. Do not use your F5. There is no point at using the F5 right now. It is just a waste of damage. And you will see that later on, it's really lacking on that part. So there is no point here at using the F5. Absolutely no point. Right there on the left side, it could have been used, for example. So his Scepter 3 has been blocked. He was going into Axe 3 white after, which is a good habit to take. And right there, you will see. Look at that. A big push on him. That's the perfect moment to use the F5, right? But it doesn't have it anymore. And that's why you shouldn't spam your F5 right away. And you should take that quarter of a second, half a second in order to decide. Should I use my F5 or not? Is there really a reason to do it? There was none. Do not. Because right there, he doesn't have his S5, which make him forced to use his wells, which are a bit long, which are a bit tricky to cast on those situations, because you can very fast cancel your wells, or to use his bridge. So here, it chooses to use his wells in order to stay in Axe, to use his Axe 3 right there. Then the Scepter 3, really good, really clean on the weapon rotation once again, and there they push with the bridge and everything. So the big thing here is early usage of the Shade 5, which is really costly when it comes to this push, but the way he handled this push without the Shade 5 is extremely good. Once again, very good, because look, he know his Axe 3 is gonna come back soon, so he doesn't want to swap to Scepter. I can get those 2 more corrupts on 10 targets with my Axe 3, so I stay on my Axe 3. So in order to put pressure at range, I will use my wells. So he's using the wells at range, as you can see, dodging out, using the Axe 3 as soon as it is available, using the Axe 3, using the Scepter 3, really good. Then you see a bunch of down right there, and when pushing, using the bridge, and then he will probably activate his big shade once again. So really fucking clean after, let's say, the initial mistake. So really clean after that. On this side, a bit longer fight with a bit more trading. What I want you to focus on is a lack of pre-shielding. Once again, because on a fight like this, it can really do a huge difference, especially during those range spikes, because it will allow your Guardians to hold way more on their CD. So there you go. Small damage in front. We come on the left side. We are gonna dodge back in 3, 2, 1. Dodging back once. Going to do good. So he's going back. You see, right there, he could have pre-shield. He could have used his shield free just in order to avoid a little bit of damage on his group. That's one thing. We are gonna move on the right side behind the small tree. The small tree make a pretty good cover against midi push. Dodging back once again. 2 people are a bit late on the dodge back, or the Guardian was not reactive enough, which make it so we lose almost 2 people, almost 3. We lose 2 people on this. We are gonna go back a little bit. So on the previous stuff, Flagger was leading. Right there it is me on my Earlsmith. So yeah. By the way, I'm planning to do an Earlsmith commentary, but I don't want to do a commentary with me leading, because the playstyle is really different. There we will push on the right. One thing you can see, he stays out of the damage. He doesn't overcommit. He stays out of the damage, which is really good. Using the shade, using the Scepter 3, so really good. Once again, he could have pre-shield. That's really the only thing. Pre-shield right there. There is we may take damage pre-shield. Really, like, that's really the thing. Pre-shield. Once again, you see, you can pre-shield a lot, like a lot. And don't worry too much about your life force. Look at this life force generation. If your weapon rotation is clean enough, you will have a shit ton of life force anyway. So there, damage in front, then he will use his wells in order to zone them out, which is really good because it opens me an opportunity to go on the left side to cleave right there. We'll go back once again. Really good use of the shield right there. Then TT will probably push on the right side, so we will go on the left side. You see on that down of the sentry. So once again, try to look at all I said before. Scepter 3 once again, positioning the shade, shade F5, really, really good. And then we will push on the blues. Oh, because there are blues here. So, using the damage here, one thing, he's using his well right there, his well of damage. I would say, try to avoid doing that, using one well without the other, especially if you don't know if there is gonna be high value. And right there is a good chance there will be no value because the opponent has not been fixed properly. So hold on your well and look at what will happen in like 2 seconds. Look at what will happen in like 2 seconds. They are gonna go towards the edge right there, and here he is using his well of corruption. If he can use both wells right here, it's a fucking carnage. But he has only one well because he used the previous one before, which is a bit sad. So that's a bit of a critique right there. Try to use your... Do not use one well without the other unless you really know it's gonna have a shit ton of value. But you really need to get that big amount of value. Really a big amount of value. And here it was not really sure. So there you go. Apart from that, always the same thing as weapon rotation. He could pre-shield once again. Pre-shield, pre-shield, pre-shield. Here he uses well, and I have no issue with it. He uses wells alone, the well alone here. But I have no issue with it because the value is pretty much 100% sure. He is gonna do big damage here. So I really have no problem with that. Right here. Small damage in front, once again. Corrupting, one thing. Before his Axe 3, he goes really close to the wall right there. You have to know that the Axe 3 doesn't require line of sight. So you can corrupt without having the line of sight. So for example, imagine the opponent is going to push this way, you are here, you can go into Axe, use your Axe before they cross. So for example, they are still here. You can use your Axe 3 while they push, then you dodge, for example, where your lead is asking to, through, and then you can use your Scepter 3. You see? You can Boon Whip across walls, which is insane, which is awesome. So try to use it once again. And he is doing it right there. So there you go. Once again, pre-shield, pre-shield, pre-shield. It's really important, guys. Really important to pre-shield. Good job right there, we get some downs, and the fight is pretty much gonna die from there. So yeah, pretty good stuff right there. Now, a little bit of another fight that we took, it's like 3 months ago now, but as you can see, shade usage, dodge left instead of dodge back, always out of line of sight. So, if you dodge back, this is a line. Hammer 2 from Revenant go in a straight line. So you don't want to dodge back into that line. You want to dodge out of the line. Okay? Always. Always, always, always. Almost always. There you go. And there, the big mistake is, look at what he's doing. The shade was here. Okay. The bridge is here. Okay. Why are the wells here too? Look at the opponent. They are moving out of the well this way. They are moving out of the wells this way. There is no reason to use the wells. You are pretty much overkilling the same people that are already dead. You see? Like, 2 people die here. They were gonna die anyway, to be honest, without the well. So the well is pretty much spammed for no reason. And look how good, how juicy a well will be there. Oh, that will be amazing. Right there, it could be Craigasm. Wells here, you explode that group. You could absolutely explode that group. So right there, pretty poor usage of the well, I have to say. Could be done better. There we have a red group coming in. So we try to tempo on the left side because we have no cooldowns. Using the axe 3 on the left side, you see, without line of sight, which is good. They are using bubbles. We don't push because you don't push on a bubble. We are waiting for shade cooldown. Shade cooldown is back. Boom, big bomb, pushing in. Let's go, choo choo. Swapping into axe once again. Once again, pretty poor use. I don't know where is the well is. Where is that well? Once again, using his well right here, and he doesn't have his well of corrupt. He's basically cleaving people that will be cleaved by Illy anyway, where he could use his well here. You see? That's what I mean when I say do not overkill a spot with your wells. Try to target different spots. So this clip is way older, so that's why you can see there are a bit more mistakes. But really, do not use your wells to overkill people. It is not good. It is really not good. And there you go. So yeah, that was it for the Scourge gameplay overall. Scourge gameplay review, sorry. I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you learned a lot. So if you have to focus on certain thing, positioning your shade, making sure to use your shade skill. Then your weapon rotation and your well positioning. That's really the three anchor of your build. Shade, weapon skills, wells. Three anchor of your build. And as you can see, do not spam. Use them wisely. Make sure to polish your weapon skill rotation because it is what will do the most boon whip / corrupt. So you really have to clean that weapon rotation out. The pre-shielding is way more advanced, and on the positioning, close to your lead, but always out of damage. That's really the goal of the Scourge. It's really hard. There is like, it will take weeks, to be honest, to explain. It's close to your lead, out of the damage. Try that, improve on that. There is no real advice that will help you more than this. It's really about you at this point, and making sure that you put that advice into reality. Let's say there is no easy solution on your positioning. You have to work on it, and you have to improve on it on a daily basis. Because yeah, close to your lead, out of the damage. That's the best thing you can do. I really hope you enjoyed that review. I want to do more of this. I have a Revenant review that is coming really soon. If you have gameplay that you want to send in order to both highlight what you are doing good and in order to shame you, no, and in order to point out your mistake in order for you to improve, I am really open. You can send me some footage, you can link me some footage, and I will do review on it. I really want to do that. I have a lot of fun doing that, and it's a good way for you to improve, to learn. It's a good way for me to produce content that I have a ton of fun producing and that I think is helpful for the community. So really, if you want to send me content, go for it, guys. Really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. If you have any question, go for it. If there is enough question, I will answer them in the comments, of course. But I might do also a reply video if there are too many questions that need to be answered. See you for the next video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, see you next or in game. GG, have fun.